Now, rock and roll piano came into its own in the mid-50s with the emergence of players like Little Richard, Fats Domino and Jerry Lee Lewis. Much of the inspiration for their sound, though, came from earlier boogie-woogie players. Here's someone with an encyclopedic knowledge of these early stylists, the astonishingly talented Jools Holland, playing a bit of Fats Domino here. What about some Big Joe Turner? Surely you're too young to remember Pine Top Smith. OK, let's hear some Jerry Lee Lewis.
In talking specifically about rock and roll piano, there are lots of there's a roll which works quite well, which is taking you can either take a third or a fifth or whatever and just roll it. Boring on its own, but with the left hand or a group or a rhythm section, it's actually very effective, and it'll give it. In fact, a roll is a bit like works a bit like a tambourine when a tambourine's on a record, or a ride cymbal, and it gives the thing fluency, i.e. And of course, the famous boogie-woogie right hand is from the first. They say it was the first boogie-woogie record ever. I don't know whether that's true or not. Which is the Pine Top Smith right hand, which still you hear in rhythm and blues records all the time, played on the guitar, the organ, which is. Rock and roll now, like old rock and roll, is a bit like trad jazz must have been 30 years ago. In other words, it's something that you hark back to. But when done well, it is a very exciting thing. You have to put things in the context of the time. The same with the big band things. If you hear a big band thing from the time, you hear it's very exciting upfront record with lots of excitement in it. You hear Victor Sylvester now, and it doesn't quite have, you know, in a hall now, it doesn't have quite that sort of exciting edge to it. Anyway, neither here nor there. There was a tangent. Here is a rock and roll lick. The rolled note is another one, if you were going to do a little riff like that. But if you... Lots of little rolls, and the only way to do it, as they say, is practice. I've been doing it for years and haven't quite got it right yet, but I will eventually. The thing in piano playing is the stamping of the foot. Why do we have the stamping of the foot? Often to keep time, also because it will illustrate windows to us where there are big gaps. In a pub or something, there's no accompaniment or a club, your foot will illustrate those gaps, thus this. See, without the foot, it would have sounded all boring.